Compatibility. How do you know if someone's right for you or not right for you? Especially when you have, some turbulence in a relationship. How do you know? And there is a right answer to this. So let's dive right in. Gosh, I cannot express how incredible it is when you ask the right question. Especially at the beginning of my journey, I would ask a question. My guidance was like, no, formulate it differently. We can ask, is this person right for me? Guidance can't answer that. That's not much to go on. But when you ask a question such as, what is real love? And you feel that deeply and you receive that, and then you can apply that to the context of, wait, is what I have, is it this? First of all, do I even want this, right? And there's such clarity that comes from that. So now, in a personal conversation, someone asked an amazing question, which was, faking the behavior just to meet each other's needs, is that real love? Now you may be surprised to hear yes and no. Yes and no. Because it depends on who's asking. A beautiful metaphor. Just let's go into what is real love. And a beautiful metaphor came channeling through, and I made an Instagram reel or a story. And I said that there's no way I can repeat this again because it was just so channeled. I was like, whoa, that was such a beautiful metaphor of a king. I couldn't possibly repeat it, so I'm sharing it here in the video where I can read this. Real love is seeing God in your partner and having the courage to hold yourself through the crap that is standing in your way of that. This is how you ultimately set yourself free. Relationship is a channel for that. Real love is loving yourself and letting it naturally flow over to those around you. And catching yourself when you are not feeling love towards someone because the problem and the disconnection from life lies within you. In this beautiful metaphor of a king, life is not demanding. Life is not a tyrant. Love is a centered, grounded king who isn't threatened, who doesn't defend. He doesn't need to. He knows his power. He leads his kingdom with peace, wisdom, and grace. He does not control. He allows freedom to his subjects and guides them with love. A king lives out of his devotion and oneness with God. That is the personification of real love. And imagining that groundedness, that centeredness, that king, and does that apply to how you see life in your life? Is it a centered ruler that just knows, yeah, I'm in control, I know my power, I know what I am here for, I know that I have a big responsibility and I'm allowing God Life Source Consciousness to guide me in running my kingdom? This is why, especially in the olden days, I know we don't really have that anymore, but in the olden days, right, there was the whole union with royalty and God, right? Because it's like the spokes people of the divine. And this got out of hand. But there was a lot of purity in that originally. And tuning into whether that's what you have. Or do you have like a terrified little soldier of like, I'm so scared, right? Or I don't know what to do with this. Or I'm a tyrant and I need to oppress my partner. I need to know what they're doing and control them and who they can or can't talk to or what they can or can't be. Or are you just kind of easygoing, it's here, it's not, I don't care, and not actually putting in the conscious effort that it requires to be that embodiment of love. So this is on the topic of real love. It's your connection to God. Going back to that original question though, is faking your behavior to please the other person or to meet their needs, I think that was the question, is that real love? How can it be yes? I was taken aback when I received yes and no. I was like, excuse me? Yes. And it is a yes. It depends who's asking. If you want a particular body, doesn't require discipline and to push yourself to go to the gym. Yes, there's this, being guided by the vision, like, oh, yeah, this is how I want to feel, and it feels good to be like this in my body and wearing these clothes, maybe. And I feel more confident, and like, okay, I want that. Yeah, let's go to the gym. But it's still work, especially showing up every day. It's discipline. So, are you going to just fake it? Yes, to some part of it, yes. You're going to maybe say some affirmations. I love my healthy body. Working out is fun. I'm getting more and more comfortable with work and feeling into it. Like, not if it feels fake. There's no point of doing that because then you're just going the other way. If you're creating more resistance. But you're fine-tuning something to like, okay, what is the closest thought that can get me to this? I like working out, right? And the same with relationships. How often do you like want to just explode and throw something at your partner? But it takes conscious relating. What do I like about this person? Why am I choosing them? The closest one. You may not go, all right, they're the love of my life. The closest thought that will get you in that direction. I understand they're probably trying to speak out of love. You may just be at the point of, I know they're not my enemy and they probably mean well. I have no idea how, but they probably mean well. Okay? It may start there. And so is that walking on eggshells? Is that faking it to meet another person's needs? Of having emotional intelligence and not exploding back at them as they're exploding? Yes. It's kind of faking it. But that's your higher self calling you to it. That's why I said the answer depends on who's talking. You're kind of faking it all the time. Your default program is your foundation, is divinity. It's connection to love, to life. It's like, that's just you. But you faked it in your childhood because, oh, right, okay, right. So I want to do that. I'm not supposed to want that. So I'm going to pretend that I'm this. And all these limiting beliefs, became now reality. You faked your way here. That's not you. That's not who you are. That's not your truth. You're not supposed to be afraid or feel like not enough or feel shame. You faked your way here. How is this any different? Reality itself is neutral. Is a story that your mind assigns to it that is the problem. Similarly, as I recently saw a reel, someone saying, I can swear at you in my native tongue and it's going to do nothing to you. But if you understand, I'm going to have the intention of like, you're this and you're that, but you're not going to understand it. So you're like, okay. But if you understand and the meaning that you assign to it, that makes a difference. The words themselves are neutral. Any experience in life is neutral. It's the meaning that you assign to it. I want to show you a picture of Kali. She is the divine feminine. This is the divine feminine goddess, and she is shown with these heads, sometimes skulls, but it's bleeding heads of men that represent the ego. She doesn't tolerate it. The heads must go. The fears, the insecurities, the not enoughness, it's not pure. It must go. And I chuckle when men say, I want peace in my relationships. With that? You want peace with that? To have peace with that, you have to be a god. Shiva is often shown blissed out, laying there at Shiva's dead body as She Kali, the goddess of death, of destruction, is dancing. Because she is destroying anything that is not pure. She is destroying anything of the mind. She has zero tolerance for it. And he's not affected by that. He's blissed out. That is the divine masculine. When he is a god, he will experience peace with her dance. He's not affected by her anymore. This is the journey within. I know in my experience, I've shut down the feminine at the age of 13. She was too much. I was vulnerable. I was getting hurt with her because I didn't have what I needed to process my emotions. I didn't have a safe caregiver who created a masculine container for my feminine to feel safe. So I shut her down. I put up my masculine walls. And then when I start integrating her, I was not the Shiva. I was freaking out with her. I was like, every time I open up to her, she's taking me over the cliff. And she's pushing me over it. She's a lot. I don't know how to deal with her. And those were the heads. The deaths that had to happen over and over again to not be afraid of the divine feminine energy anymore, but to love, loving the deaths. Because you're understanding that it's a new birth, that she's only killing that which you are not. This is the divine feminine. And she will demand of you. The reason I'm sharing this is because it links to that question, who's asking? Oftentimes in relationships, especially for men with women, it's like, this is a lot. And am I supposed to fake it? Yes, you're supposed to be the best version of yourself. And women, I'm talking about the relationship within you, because if you want that relationship outside of you, you have to do the work within you. And men, the relationship with your partner is such a school for this. She's not going to tolerate weakness. She's not going to tolerate your insecurities. She's not going to tolerate the not enoughness. And I in no way mean that women don't need to do the work in regards to their feminine energy, and men as well. But right now I'm talking about a bit of a different dynamic. That the divine feminine, that is centered, that is rooted, that doesn't act hysterically or like, oh, you don't love me, or this is not, she feels enough. She's rooted. She's grounded. And from that place of power, she will destroy anything that is not in alignment within that divine masculine. Because she's asking for a God. She's asking for a king. And she's not going to tolerate anything less than that. So do we fake it? No, if it's coming from the ego. If you're walking on eggshells, okay, I have to do this so my partner's happy with me. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you so you can avoid conflict, so your head doesn't roll. But when it's the demanding of the higher self, when it's that vision, I want that body. Fake it and pretend you like the gym. And you say it again and again, and you keep going and you build that momentum until one day you're like, oh, this is actually really fun. I love this. I know for me a shift was when I understood like, wait, actually this workout time is my time to connect with my body. And it took, and that thought wasn't actually a practice thought, but it came as a result of this, I love this. This is great. We're going to smile through this. You got to fake it till you make it. But you got to understand the why and what you stand for and what is that vision? What are you going towards? So do you walk on eggshells? Is that real love if you're walking on eggshells and needing your partner's needs so that they're okay? No. But if you know, all right, this is the person that I want to be. I want to be the better version of myself. I know for me in relationships, it was really difficult to trust and to surrender more. And I did that. And then there came another, I'm sure that many women have this with when, men who are uncomfortable with that would say, oh, well, you're not surrendering, you're too much in control. You're like, no, I'm surrendering. This is my discernment. There can be surrender, and I still know what is right for me. I still know what feels right in my body. And again, if a man is not in this king energy, he's going to have a problem with that because he's going to see that as competition. Because his own feminine isn't grounded, his own masculine isn't grounded. I'm going to wrap this topic up now because this video can go on for several hours. Down below in the description, I actually made a whole workshop. We did that in Thrive and the membership over several months, going into the masculine energy, going into the feminine energy. And there are also some tips of how can you practically apply this to your life, all right? So I'm going to stop right here. Let me know what you heard me say. Let me know what stood out for you down below in the comments. Give it a like if this resonated. And I thank you so much for being here and remembering that the divine union starts within you. The alignment starts within you. And until you're rooted in that, anything outside of you, you're going to be terrified of losing it. And you're going to try to control and manipulate to keep yourself comfortable. But it's not comfort. It's the illusion of comfort. It's the illusion of union, of connection, of freedom. But true freedom is living from the inside out. I thank you for being here, and I'm wishing you a powerful day.